The sky above the desert
stars
world
align with
burned
our
with a copper
destiny.
glow as the human vessel
march as
descended
one.
toward the plateau. Mark stood near the open ramp, steadying himself as the ship touched down on uneven stone. He had been chosen as the envoy because he was calm, resilient, and willing to face a world that had never welcomed humans before. His injury, a deep cut on his arm from the journey through the asteroid field, was wrapped tightly, but the stain that had seeped through could not be fully hidden. He ignored it. The mission mattered more. The world had called for help, and humanity had answered. The desert wind whipped past him as he stepped down the ramp. The sand carried a faint shimmer, and in the distance tall silhouettes of alien guards formed a wall around their queen. Mark could not read their expressions, but he sensed caution in the way every spear was angled toward him. The queen stood at the center of the formation, taller than her guards and draped in layered fabrics that caught the light like polished stone. Her name was Lyra, and though she appeared regal and controlled, Mark could see the uncertainty behind her stance. This meeting was a risk for her too. Mark stopped a respectful distance away, placing his hands open at his sides, showing he held no weapon. The guards adjusted their spears. Their eyes glimmered with anticipation. Humanity's reputation had spread far across distant worlds. Some worlds admired them, some feared them, and some simply did not understand them. This world, known for its quiet isolation, had only reached out because of an invading force pressing through its outer provinces. They needed allies. Mark hoped today would prove that humans could be trusted. Lyra stepped forward, her voice low and crisp as she addressed him. You came farther than any traveler from your world has ever come to reach us. Why? Mark bowed slightly. Your message reached our frontier scouts. We came because you asked for aid. I am here to show goodwill. Her gaze remained unreadable. Our people have known nothing of your kind except stories. Many describe you as violent. Others call you protectors. We do not know which is true. Mark lifted his injured arm slightly as he prepared to speak, but the movement tugged the wound. A sharp pain shot up through his shoulder. He winced, instinctively loosening the cloth. The queen's eyes snapped downward, drawn by the sudden smear of red. Her guards followed her gaze. The desert fell silent. Mark had not intended to reveal his injury, but the fabric slipped just enough to expose the edge of the dried and fresh mix of red against his skin. He tried to tighten it again, but it was too late. The queen stared with stunned disbelief. Her guards took one step back, then another. Several spears clattered to the ground. A murmur spread through them like a wave. Mark froze. He had no idea what had caused the reaction. He only saw the queen lift a trembling hand as if warding off a great threat. Her voice softened into shock. Is that the life substance of your body? Mark nodded slowly. Yes, it happened during our flight. I am fine. The queen drew in a breath that shook her frame. Her guards looked ready to flee. One whispered urgently to another. Mark wondered if they believed he was contagious or volatile. He raised both hands to reassure them. It is only a cut. It will heal. Lyra stared a moment longer, then stepped closer without warning. Her guards attempted to block her, but she raised her hand in command, and they obeyed. She reached Mark and studied the wound with a mixture of awe and fear. Your life flows like a warning flame. On our world, such a color marks danger. It is the sign our greatest predators display before they strike. We believed it existed only in legend. Mark looked down. To him, it was only blood. But to them, it meant something far older, something woven into instinct. He realized why they reacted with fear. His blood resembled the warning colors of the creatures that preyed upon them. Yet Lyra had overcome her fear. She looked straight at him. You endure this injury without collapse. You stand and speak as if nothing threatens you. Your stability is extraordinary. Mark gathered his thoughts before replying. Humans recover from many things. It is part of who we are. The Queen nodded slowly, absorbing the explanation. Her guards, however, remained shaken. Mark could almost hear their minds spinning. He understood he needed to calm the situation. I do not wish to frighten your people. If my presence causes fear, I will return to my vessel. Lyra lifted her head sharply. No, you came with purpose. Our world asked for help, and your people responded. Fear should not end this meeting. She turned to her guards. Hold your ground. This human shows no threat. The guards obeyed, though Mark saw their tension. He inhaled deeply and allowed the desert air to steady him. We want to help your world defend itself. Your request for aid was not ignored. Lyra studied him with a more measured expression. If we are to stand together, we must understand one another. Your endurance is unlike anything we have known. Your kind may endure hardship, we cannot. Perhaps that is why you are able to cross the void to reach us. Mark sensed the beginning of trust forming. We built our civilization by overcoming what tried to break us. It taught us to value cooperation and to protect those who seek peace. The Queen looked at the horizon where dark clouds gathered. It was not weather. It was smoke. The invading force had torched another settlement. Lyra's voice grew quiet. Our enemy has taken 3 provinces. If we do not stand firm, they will reach the capital within 2 cycles. Mark approached her side cautiously. Show me where they attack. My people can support your defenses. We can push them back. Lyra hesitated. Many have promised such aid. None succeeded. Then let us be the first. Lyra considered his words long enough that the wind shifted twice across the dunes. Finally, she nodded. Very well. You will accompany me to the council hall. They must see you and learn that your injury is not a sign of approaching doom. If you are to stand with us, they must understand your nature. Mark agreed and followed her toward the transport platform carved into the plateau. The guards kept their distance, though some eyed his bandage with lingering dread. Lyra signaled the operator, and the platform rose smoothly toward the elevated city above. As they ascended, the landscape shifted from barren stone to structured terraces filled with gray plants that shimmered under the light. The city's architecture blended crystal and metal, forming shapes that looked like natural formations, molded into purposeful design. When they reached the upper level, crowds gathered along the walkways. Word had spread fast. People stared at Mark with curiosity, wonder, and caution. Lyra walked with confident steps, guiding him toward the council hall. Inside, the towering chamber echoed with murmured voices. Council members, each adorned with emblems of leadership, stepped forward. Lyra addressed them firmly. This is Mark, envoy of the human world. He comes to support us in our struggle. A council elder stepped closer. We received your message, but we heard disturbing reports. Your guards claim his life substance carries the mark of danger. Mark lifted his arm slightly, showing the bandage. It is only a wound. The elder leaned in. And you remain standing despite this loss. Yes. Lyra stepped forward. His endurance is real. We witnessed it. Our fear is based on old instinct, not reality. Humans heal quickly. They are resilient. Another counselor narrowed his gaze. If this is true, then your people may withstand combat where ours fail. Mark nodded. That is one reason we came. The council gathered in quiet discussion. Mark waited, watching the flickering lights above. The patterns shifted slowly like drifting stars. After several moments, the speaker approached. We accept your offer of aid, but we must understand how you fight. If your people join us, we must trust your methods. Mark replied confidently. We fight to protect. We do not strike without reason. Show us the battlefield, and we will stand where we are needed. The council accepted this. Lyra guided Mark toward a projection chamber. The device lit up, displaying the enemy forces. They moved in dark clusters across the plains. Their ships resembled twisted metal spires drifting over the landscape. Their goal was clear: domination, subjugation. Consumption. Mark analyzed the formations. Your forces retreat too early. They try to hold the perimeter. They must form a deeper line behind natural barriers. Humans can hold the front while your units provide support. One general frowned. Placing you in the front is dangerous. That is where humans are most effective. Lyra studied the map. If we shift our defenders to the river valley and let the humans anchor the ridge, we could trap the invaders between both forces. Mark nodded. That would cut their advance in half. The council examined the plan and approved it. Preparations began immediately. Mark returned to his ship, where his fellow soldiers awaited. He told them the plan. They armed themselves and prepared for battle. By morning they marched to the ridge overlooking the valley. The enemy force advanced in massive numbers, but Mark stood firm. The humans formed a sharp defensive line. The valley wind carried the scent of burning metal as the invaders approached. Mark held his position, his wound forgotten in the heat of the coming fight. When the battle erupted, the ground shook with detonations. Mark led the charge from the ridge. His movements were swift and precise. His team held formation even under heavy pressure. The aliens of Lyra's world watched from a distance, astonished at how the humans fought without hesitation. Mark's determination spread through the ranks, strengthening the resolve of every.